Ladies and gentlemen, this is Killer Kross. Please do not notify the police. Your signal has been interrupted. You are now listening to Rock and Wrestling Local 420. Tuck your chin, please, sir. Thank you.
Wow, what a fantastic gift. I realize the title of your show, Rock and Wrestling Local 420. And I'm going to take that idea and go extreme.
Alrighty then, this is Phil Nershi of the Spring Cheese Incident coming to you from up in the Windy Mouth. I'm here joining Cosmic Chris on the Rock and Wrestling Local 420.
This is the Big Ugly JD Bishop, and if you're not listening to Rock and Wrestling Local 420, you must be stupid!
Hey there, radio buddies, it's me, Max Volume. You are listening to Rock and Wrestling and Local 420 with Cosmic Chris.
Hey, this is Chad of the Two-Man Power Trip of Wrestling Podcast. When you're done listening to my show, head on over and listen to the Rock and Wrestling Local 420, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed.
Hey, folks, I got a name for you when you're the greatest podcast in podcast alive today. They don't call you a great podcast. They call you Rock and Wrestling in Local 420. Beat it if you can.
Oh, that's better. Well, hey, what's up, folks? This is Rock and Wrestling Local 420. This is the show where I basically bitch and moan and complain about shit that I like and don't like, and let you know if I like it, let you know if I don't like it. Like I said, bitch and moan and complain. And hopefully you guys find it funny and amusing. So, there's a few things I want to talk about this week. One of the first is we lost Shad Gaspard earlier in the week. Apparently him and his kid, I don't know if a daughter or a son, I'm assuming it's his son, was, I don't know if boogie boarding, surfing, or whatever, but they were in Venice Beach the day Venice Beach reopened. And apparently they got caught in some undertow type thing. And they swam out to save him, but he was like, no, save my kid, which is any normal father would do. And so they do save the kid, but then I guess Shad gets sucked up in the undertow or something. And it took a few days, like they were looking for his body for a few days. Well, what was it, yesterday, I think, early in the morning, or even Friday, apparently they found his body, and everyone and their brother, I mean, WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor people, AEW people, have gathered on the beach. I mean, when they were looking for him, I mean, Lillian Garcia just freaked out. She was crying on Instagram and everything. It was really, really rough, but something happened and there was a bad accident, and yeah, that was pretty rough. And he was with Crime Time. It was one of my favorite tag teams. It was short-lived in the mid to late 2000s, from like 2005, 2010. And I loved him. I loved the gimmick. I thought it was great, but it only lasted a year, maybe two at the most. I mean, it was very short-lived. But it was really, really good, and I enjoyed it. And he will be sadly missed. And you know what? He died saving his son, so what more can be said about that? And somehow, they're probably going to equate it to COVID. So, I don't know, because now getting into this other thing, before I actually get into some of the headlines, I want to talk about the whole Trump and Biden thing, because, you know, like I've said in the last few weeks, I haven't fallen completely down the rabbit hole. I think if they can paint Biden and Hillary and all these people as these evil people and make it look, you know, that they're the evil people, that actually Donald Trump ain't that bad, I find it fully believable that they can do the same thing with Trump and make him look good or something like that, because it goes both ways. And where I'm going with this is Biden made this comment, like, and I think, and I could be wrong. That's the other thing. I could be completely wrong, but Biden said something like, you know, if you're black and you vote for Trump, you ain't black. And now when he first said it, I was like, okay, how is this, what's going down? You know, because maybe some black people are like, that's right, you know, you ain't black. Or like what happened, everyone's freaking out. I think he just lost the entire African American vote. Because it's just like, oh man, he's showing signs of that he's an old fucking man with dementia. And it's sad because I think Trump is sitting back going, I just got impeached. I can do no fucking wrong. And, you know, like I said, I'm still on board with Trump's just as big as a phony as the rest of them, you know, so that's why I haven't fallen completely down the rabbit hole. You can't have a little bit of column A without a little bit of column B, you know, and dude, he's been known to hang out with Epstein too. You know what I'm saying? All these people are saying, oh, the Clintons and the Obamas and all these people and the Bushes are hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I don't know. Obviously, he had some sort of book with some sort of insurance policy. But nonetheless, I don't know. All I know is right now our country is so divided and so fucking scary right now. Like, I just got this voting thing where, you know, because here's the other thing. Trump's going to cut off Oregon and Nevada and all the absentee votes and all that stuff. And I just got this thing and the pamphlet. Now in Oregon, it was easy. I liked voting by mail. I would get the pamphlet. I would say, oh, you know, here is proposition so-and-so. A yes vote means this. A no vote means this. This is so-and-so. He's a Democrat. If he gets elected, this is what will happen. This is so-and-so. She's a Republican. If she gets I don't want to say inducted, you know what I mean? Elected, sorry. If she gets elected, this is what's going to happen. You know, newcomers, incumbents, etc., etc. And the pamphlet had nothing. Absolutely nothing against who's who or info on who's who. I was like, I don't know. I just was like appalled that the pamphlet had no info. I don't know. I'm voting blindly. And so, getting back to the Biden thing, I think Biden is just blowing this fucking thing unless he picks Buttigieg or Warren or somebody like that. He is going to lose. And it's just sad because Trump's just sitting back going, dude, what the fuck? I can do no wrong. I'm the man right now. And in some way, he's probably smart by doing that because he's just letting Biden just, oh, dude, you're just going to dig your own grave there, buddy. And apparently that is what Biden has done. So, like I said, if Biden's going to win, and part of me, you know, I want Biden to win in you know, because I don't want Trump to win, and it's just hard. It's just hard because I really don't know anymore. And I've said this before. I remember back at the 2000s when I swore off of voting when Al Gore didn't get the presidency, you know, and It's just a scary time with what's going on. And I've got a theme to this podcast, by the way. And I just want everyone to hopefully just, keep the faith. Try and think that we will all make it through this. I don't know, like you don't know, on this presidency thing or how this is gonna. So let's just pray. And I'm not saying that to be religious. I'm saying that just have faith in something positive is going to come out of this, and hopefully not something negative. So, all right, now we're going to get into some headlines other than the couple that I've just talked about. So, let's see. As we scroll down the thing, one of the things I wanted to talk about is that Journey. Okay, because everyone knows lately Steve Smith and Ross Valerie supposedly did this underhanded thing. Now they're claiming that, dude, all we wanted was a little piece of the action, and this got blown out of proportion, and Neil Sean's just making a mockery of this. We weren't trying to do this, Meanwhile, Neil Sean and Jonathan Cain are like, you totally tried to underhand us, yada, yada, yada. And now, I don't know who the drummer is that they named, but, dude, they brought back Randy Jackson. Yo, dog. That's going to be cool, because now that Randy's got this whole American Idol fame, and now he's getting back, I don't know, dude. I thought it was cool. I remember Randy Jackson not just playing in Journey, but he also played in Fogerty's band at the AIDS benefit in '89. I was 14 years old, Oakland Stadium. He played when Bob and Jerry came out with Fogerty. It was Randy Jackson that was the bass player, man. So Randy Jackson, dude, he's a cool motherfucker, dude. He's a cool cat. I would love to meet him one of these days. So that's what's going on in the Journey world. Let's see, over to Sammy talking about how he's envisioning this whole Van Halen reunion. Like, dude, we're all alive. Let's just fucking do it. And he says he won't do it without Dave, without Michael, without Wolfie. And he wants his son, I guess, to be involved and do this whole, Van Halen family thing, which I think would be the ultimate thing. I honestly think if Dave could set his ego aside and just do it, it would be the ultimate thing. It'd be like Pink Floyd coming back together, which that's another thing I'll bitch about, but I don't know, dude. Van Halen would be cool. Van Hagar would be cool. Anything would be cool to come out of Van Halen. So I'm hoping that would going down to happen, because I just think, and he's right, because what he's saying is David Lee Roth 6 months ago, or more than about a year ago almost now, three quarters of a year, basically said, look, if you want to hear Van Halen, you're going to have to come see me, because Van Halen's pretty much dead, except for me. And in some ways he was kind of right, but at the same time, because everyone was talking about how Eddie was possibly in ill will or something, and so nobody really knew, because they had announced that they were going to get back together with Michael Anthony. Well, that didn't happen, and then now this pandemic thing's happened. We don't know, but Van Halen would be cool, and that would be the right way to do it. Let's just pray that happens. Also, let's see, it's 34 years ago today that Who Made Who was released. That's kind of cool, because I love that. Even though Who Made Who is nothing more than a repackaged version of Back in Black, with them writing the song Who Made Who for the Maximum Overdrive soundtrack and just putting that as the new single on a repackaged version of Back in Black. So, but hey, it made fucking mad money, so I mean, you can't really talk that much shit. But let's see here, what else have we got? Now, I'm only going to mention this for a quick second, because it's so funny, because as I scroll down, I'm seeing Vinny Appice says Ronnie James Dio never warmed up before going on stage. Okay, here's the thing. it's funny, but that to me is not news. Everyone that knows anything about Dio, Eddie Trunk has said it. If you watch The Big Four, Scott Ian talks about this story where he asks Dio, like, what do you do before you go on stage? Because some singers sing into a pillow, some go, stuff like that. And he says, I don't do nothing. I just smoke a joint and go out on stage. And that's pretty much all he ever did. He never warmed up. And so it's common knowledge. My point to this is it's common knowledge that anyone that knew Dio. So I just don't see... Now, it's cool because Vinny Appice is the one that's saying it. But outside of that, why is that even a story? I don't know. I'm not even going to get into the fact that, it's a story. I just don't understand, like, why am I even scrolling down this? So, let's see. Poison's Bret Michaels credits his willpower for getting him through his health challenges. Let's see. Mike Tramp explains his decision to embark on the Songs of White Lion tour. That would be cool. It'd be cool if it was White Lion, but, let's see. Oh, there's C. Okay, now this is heading back into Donald Trump because I could not believe only Uncle Ted could say something. Ted Nugent on Donald Trump. Okay, this is, Blabbermouth, by the way. He's on a mission from God. This is divine intervention. That is, I can see him talking mad shit about everybody and anybody. But, I mean, I've got to examine this just a little more. I mean, I shouldn't even really go on, but I got to see, like, why he fucking thinks this, because I can't. Okay, I just skimmed through this 53-minute video, and oh my god, it's something called Triggered. And so it's Donald Trump Jr. interviewing Ted Nugent about hunting and standing up for, and he goes off about your dad is on a mission from God, and he's all about this hunt the vote thing, which is for hunters. He wants to vote for Trump or something like, and it just was like, oh my god. And I gave it a few minutes. I skimmed through the 53-minute video a couple times, and I just wanted to see it. It was really towards the end where he actually said that. And like I said, it's just Donald Trump Jr. and Ted Nugent fucking just pro whatever, pro hunting, I don't know, dude. Donald Trump is on a mission from God. This is divine intervention. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And other music news, Faith No More keyboardist says man-on-man video was removed from YouTube for sexual violations. So, keyboard player Roddy Bottum and his gay lover. See, that's the other thing. A lot of people still don't realize Roddy Bottum's gay. And so, I don't know. I have not seen this video. But apparently, it's something for the sexual violations. The Daddy clip, which made it online debut Friday, March 22nd. See, I was working, dude. I don't know. So, like I said, I haven't seen this video. But, I don't know. I don't think it's Faith No More doing it. It's just Roddy Bottum doing it. So, I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird. That's some interesting news. Tommy Shaw from Styx releases a cover of Led Zeppelin's Going to California. And it was pretty cool. I mean, I think Eddie Trunk played it the other day on one of his things, so I heard it. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know. It's like Styx doing Zeppelin. I mean, Tommy Shaw has a great voice, and he's super high, and he does some stuff, but you can tell it's not Robert Plant. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's all right, I guess. I can't really complain. It was not bad. It was actually really fucking cool, so... Now, I said this a few minutes ago, we were going to talk about Roger Waters. Now, I don't know what's going on, but from the Van Halen, when I mentioned Pink Floyd, I said we're going to get into Pink Floyd later on, because that's a different thing. But Oh man! Apparently, Roger Waters has been blocked from the Pink Floyd fan, or not fan site, but website, and it's like he's complaining that, well, it's got David Gilmour and his wife doing their solo shit on it. Why can't I have my, And so I don't know, but all this stupid shit, dude. Because Pink Floyd, like I said, outside of Van Halen, to me, and Eddie Trunk was even saying, "Oh, like that'll ever happen." I think that would be cool and it's so weird because Nick Mason made that comment a couple months back. Oh, I've given up on a Pink Floyd reunion. Well, dude, all these guys are just sitting there talking shit to you, but then they still jam together once in a while. Like a few years ago, David Gilmour came out during one of the songs or something in New York or London or some shit like that. I can't remember exactly. Or vice versa or something. And I know Nick Mason is jammed with Roger Waters and David Gilmour. So it's like, dude, I don't know what to believe anymore because part of me is thinking that they're doing this like Kiss is probably going to do all this, like talk shit about each other, drum up publicity. That way when they do the final reunion right, they do it right. So, I don't know. It's just, I'd love to see Pink Floyd. I can't say anything more than that, dude. Pink Floyd to me would be the ultimate reunion outside of barring, like I said, Van Halen with Van Hagar and stuff like that. So, with that said, I'm going to get into a little bit of wrestling, not a lot. I got to admit, one part about AEW I really liked because they literally kind of had this whole last week in AEW kind of opening vignette kind of thing. And I kind of like that because it makes it look like a TV show. Last week in AEW, this happened and this happened. That's what I like about TV shows, too. And at the end, be sure to catch next week when yada, yada, yada happens. So, I don't know. I just thought that was cool. And let's see. Matt, at the end, Matt pins Sammy Guevara. And it ends up in this huge brawl out in the stadium again with everybody. The Inner Circle and the Elite and all that. And it's leading up to the Stadium Stampede or something like that. So, I don't know. I didn't get to see Stadium Stampede. I did not pay for the interview. Brian Zane did a review on it, which was actually really good. So, I kind of dug that. But, I don't know. I mean, AEW's, I really like what they're doing. Even if they're in an empty stadium, at least they're in a stadium. They're making it look cool still, and with using their crew and stuff as audiences, they can get away with it. So I don't know. I like still how it's looking. We just saw Impact a little bit ago, and there was this a couple things, like basically there was this match with Michael Elgin and Sami Callihan at the end, which was, I don't know, I wasn't too impressed with that, but you know what they did? They brought back Crazy Steve. That's kind of cool, because for the last 2 years, ever since Abyss kind of left, where's Crazy Steve been? And so Rosemary, sorry, I was going to say Mary Jane, but Rosemary, she's had to go out on her own ever since her and Abyss and Crazy Steve broke up. Whatever tag team that was called again, I can't really remember it. It was a badass team worth remembering. It's just, nonetheless, it is what it is. And so when Abyss left, and then Rosemary got hurt because of Sexy Star and her shooting on her. And then, so I've dug how Rosemary's come back, but they've done this thing with Sue Young and Reverend Mitchell, James Mitchell. And they've used him and stuff. So they've had some good storyline over the last few years with how they're bringing her and Sue Young. And now they've got this Susie girl that turns into Sue Young, apparently. So I dig that kind of whole storyline motif. I did see Fallah and TJ... Oh, God, I can't remember his name. Anyway, but they beat the two fat fucks that have just come in. And there's this thing with the Deaners, which is basically, now I'm going to get into SmackDown here because now the Deaners is only the one Deaner and stuff like that. So it's kind of like looking like Otis is looking in SmackDown, because where's Tucker been for the last couple weeks? So with that segue, I'm going to get into some SmackDown. The show starts off with Miz TV and John Morrison basically insults Becky and Seth Rollins on the whole the baby thing. With he basically calls them out, and they show this weird sock puppet like Socko thing, and this puppet made of diapers that he's called him Dookie the Diaper Boy. And they did this little vignette, and so it's basically just talking shit. And then next match comes, and it's AJ Styles, and he's basically returns to beat Shinsuke and advance to the next round 2 of the tournament. Next up, we got Bayley, and she kind of rejects Sasha Banks from the ringside because last week with Charlotte saying you're basically Bayley's lackey, are you going to be your own woman? And they've been doing this for years. So they did it when they were both baby faces. Now they're doing it as heels. And that's obviously just kind of boring. But she said, don't come to my match. Oh, and then Bayley ends up rolling up Charlotte. Or getting rolled up by Charlotte. But that it was an alright match. She still won, so... Let's see, Sonya and Ziggler beat Mandy and Otis in a mixed tag team. And then next thing, which was all right. And there was this one point where Otis is going after Mandy like, hey, are you okay? And then Dolph comes up and just sweet chin music to the head, just kicks him in the fucking head, dude. It was actually pretty nice. So let's see, Jeff Hardy gives this weird Blaze of Glory promo. Then they have this thing on Shad Gaspard, this memory thing. And what I'm thinking is, and I'm recording this the night before Raw, so by tomorrow, I'm hoping because of the severity of what happened, if it's Memorial Day, dude, why wouldn't they? The WWE Monday are going to have a Memorial Day show. Why don't they do because in the last couple things... NXT and SmackDown, they've just had this little rip Shad Gaspard, nothing said about it. So why don't they have the ring the bell however many times it is, like a 21 gun salute or whatever, but have that for Memorial Day. So by the time this episode comes out, I'm not going to know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I'll talk about it next week. But that's what they should do. Because if they just say nothing about it outside of just this little rip and a picture of him, this needs to be, brought up. Because they're going to, like I said, here's what I was saying earlier, they're going to bring it back to COVID because it was the first day the beaches were open. And so that's how, I don't know, it's going to get tied in. So let's see, what else have we got? After that, the Forgotten Sons give this shitty promo. And then see, Miz and Morrison give a promo saying they will beat Braun Strowman in the handicap match. They're just, hey, ho, ho, Miz and Morrison, which I love. I think it's awesome. Hey, ho, ho, Miz and Morrison. So... let's see. Now they go to... now that's going to be at the pay-per-view, mind you. Jeff beats Sheamus to advance in the next round of the tournament as well. So, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed some of the wrestling. I just went through it leading up to this recording. So, and I know this is probably a long-winded intro, but let's get into some music. Here's some David Ruffin with Temptations and I Know I'm Losing You.
Hey, this is Kevin Kleinrock from Masked Republic and the Keeping It 100 with Conan podcast, and you're listening to Rock and Wrestling Local 420. make sure you tune in every week.
Hey, it's Pat Kelly of the West Coast Wrestling Connection and the Golf Guys Radio Show, and you're listening to my buddy, Cosmic Chris, Rock and Wrestling Local 420.
This is Hotshot Danny Duggan, and you're listening to Rock and Wrestling Local 420.
Oh, wow. Hey, this is This Week in Rock and Wrestling. Started off that first set with the Temptations, David Ruffin, and I Know I'm Losing You. Johnny Paycheck with Don't Take Her, She's All I Got. Greg Allman, I'm No Angel. And Paul McCartney from 007's Live and Let Die. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed that first set of music. I thought it rocked. So this week in Rock and Wrestling, before I get into, I just want to make it known again, we still haven't caught the piece of shit that murdered Dino. So I just want to say, if you guys want to harass him on Facebook, he has one under Philip Green Farmer. And I've been talking with the cops. I've been talking with Animal Control. And they're all, well, it's an animal control because it's a dog. And then the animal control's all, but a human stabbed a dog. A human committed the crime. And there's no communication. And it just fucking sucks. So, that's why I started the GoFundMe, just in case. Hopefully they realize that, he killed a fucking dog, and the Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Act, which this guy definitely violated. So I just want to say, if any of you guys know where this prick is, his name's Greg Farmer. It might be in Modesto, it might be in San Diego. Call your fucking local authorities, or just harass the fucker on social media, because I'm not worried about defamation of character. He fucking did it. So fuck him. He's a fucking coward and a fucking pussy, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to use my platform to do that. The problem is with him is he fucked with somebody with a fucking podcast. So everyone's going to know how much of a piece of shit this guy is. So help us find Dino's killer, please. May 27th, 1955, Eric Bischoff is born. 1982, Natalia is born. 1977, God Save the Queen is released by the Sex Pistols. 1948, Pete Sears from Jefferson Starship. And I think he's in Moon Alice too, actually. Was born in 1948. 1966, Sean Kinney from Alice in Chains is born. 1971, Lisa Left Eye Lopez is born from TLC. 1975, Andre 3000 is born. 2017, Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers dies. May 28th, 1950, Kamala is born. 1986, Seth Rollins, a.k.a. Tyler Black, is born. 1983, Ricky by Weird Al reaches number 63 on the Billboard charts. 1910, T-Bone Walker is born. 1944, Gladys Knight is born. 1945, John Fogerty from Creedence Clearwater Revival is born. 1949, Wendy O. Williams from the Plasmatics is born. May 29th, 1970, Pete Gass is born. 1973, Nitro Girl Spice is born. 1979, Brian Kendrick is born. 1984, Nia Jax is born. 1986, Hornswoggle is born, or just now known as Swoggle. 1913, Igor Stravinsky, The Rite of Spring premieres in Paris, provoking a riot, apparently. So I don't know why, that's what it said. 1942, Bing Crosby records White Christmas. Now that's the other thing. May 29th, Bing Crosby records White Christmas. Well, why didn't... I mean, I guess, once you record a song, I mean, I know it takes a while to... But come on, dude. He could have recorded it in, like, October and just released it a couple weeks. Singing about White Christmas in May is just... Like I said, you can tell this is something... Oh, it takes a while. But I just think it's fucking hilarious. Let's see, what do we got? 1942, Yankee Doodle Dandy premieres in New York City. 1953, Danny Elfman from all the Tim Burton movies and the Simpson theme, as well as Oingo Boingo, is born. 1961, David Palmer, the drummer for ABC, is born, as well as Melissa Etheridge. 1963, Blaze Bayley, the third singer for Iron Maiden, is born. 1989, John Cipollina dies from Quicksilver Messenger Service and Zero. Bay Area favorite. He dies at the age of 45. Wow, I'm 45. Hope I live a long time, though. 2012, Doc Watson, the famous bluegrasser, dies at the age of 89. May 30th, 1955, Jake the Snake Roberts is born. 1988, No Way Jose is born. 1964, Cry a Shadow and Love Me Do is released by the Beatles. 1955, Nicky Topper, Hedden, the drummer for The Clash, is born. 1964, Winona Judd is born. Also on that same day, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine is born. 1974, CeeLo Green is born. 1996, John Kahn, bass player for the Jerry Garcia Band, dies at the age of 47. May 31st, 1958, Dick Dale invents surf music with Let's Go Trippin'. 1969, Give Peace a Chance is recorded. 1969 as well, My Cherie Amour is also recorded. That's kind of cool. I don't know if it was released or recorded. I think actually released on the day. Yeah. 1975, Fight the Power by the Isley Brothers is released. 1976, The Who set the record for the loudest band in history at 120 decibels at 50 meters at the Valley in Charlton, which long has since been broken, I think twice, but I know Manowar did it in Russia or something like that at one point, I think in Moscow or some shit. 1980, Love Stinks by the Jay Giles Band reaches number 38. 2014, Psy's Gangnam Style. It's the first video to hit 2 billion views on YouTube. Wow. 1941, Johnny Paycheck is born. 1948, John Bonham from Led Zeppelin is born. 1962, Corey Hart is born. 1964, Daryl McDaniels, DMC from Run DMC, is born. 2014, Melissa Etheridge weds her wife, Linda Wallen. So, on her birthday, she weds her wife. So let's see, what else do we got after that? 2019, Roky Erickson from the 13th Floor Elevators dies at the age of 71. Finally, on May 31st, 1996, Timothy Leary dies. I know he was in his 80s. I can't remember how old he was, but he was definitely in his 80s, I think. And let's see, June 1st, 1977, James Storm is born. 1966, George Harrison sees Ravi Shankar for the first time in London. 1968, Mrs. Robinson is the first rock song to ever win a Grammy by Simon and Garfunkel. Rock song. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be a rock song. I just wouldn't have considered it a rock song. 1970, Everything is Beautiful by Ray Stevens hits number 1. 1973, Live and Let Die is released by Paul McCartney. 1975, Ronnie Wood replaces Mick Taylor in the Rolling Stones. 1985, Just a Gigolo and I Ain't Got No Body by David Lee Roth is number 12 on the Billboard charts. Also on that same day, Dare to Be Stupid by Weird Al Yankovic. 1926, Andy Griffith is born. 1934, Pat Boone is born. 1947, Ronnie Wood is born. So that's funny. Ronnie Wood replaces him on his birthday. That's funny. That's two birthdays that famous stuff happened. 1974, Alanis Morissette is born. 1948, Sonny Boy Williamson dies at the age of 34. 1991, David Ruffin from The Temptations dies at the age of 50 from apparent drug overdose. June 2nd, 1977, AJ Styles is born. 1958, Lex Luger is born. 1981, The Beautiful Velvet Sky is born. 1988, Grado is born. 1941, Charlie Watts from the Rolling Stones is born. 1954, Mickey Steele from the Bangles, also a founding member of the Runaways, I might add. Short stint, but she is a founding member. Is born on 1954. 1970, Be Real from Cypress Hill is born. 2006, Vince Welnick from the Tubes and the Grateful Dead commits suicide. He was 55 years old. And finally, on 2008, we lost Bo Diddley. So that has been this week in rock and wrestling. Let's get into some more music. But before we do that, hey, let's just check the answering machine real quick.
You have 113 new messages.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I was just wondering, where the newspaper boy was. Haven't seen a newspaper in a couple days. Wondering if you ever gonna come back. Guess who? Sorry to leave you so many messages. Just lonely here, thinking about the muscle-bound paper boy. Wishing he'd come by and bring me some good news. Where are you? Oh, you're starting to piss me off, you little piglet sumbitch. Call me.
Hey folks, let me tell you about DDP Yoga. At a time in my life, not so long ago, I was suffering from Hep C as well as diabetes and well over 300 pounds. And a friend of mine sent me a YouTube video of this man, Arthur Borman. He was a paratrooper that had been told he would never walk again without the use of crutches. He gave DDP Yoga a try and is now one of DDP's leading success stories, as well as helping such people as Scott Hall, Chris Jericho, Gabriel Iglesias, Corey Taylor, Jake the Snake Roberts, Stevie Richards, and countless others. Diamond Dallas Page originally developed DDP Yoga for athletes such as himself who had suffered years of injury due to high-impact sports. When he ruptured his L4 and L5 spinal discs during the height of his professional wrestling career, he was so desperate to keep his childhood dream alive that he was willing to try anything. So he tried yoga for the first time. I know firsthand the benefits that DDP Yoga has to offer. Because Dallas had experience in many forms of fitness, he quickly learned how different yoga was from other traditional workouts. Soon he started mixing elements of yoga with his rehab as well as traditional workout principles. For almost a decade, he has refined his program and has become a master at teaching it to others. DDP has saved my life. I encourage you to buy the discs as I have. Go to ddpyoga.com or you can download the DDP Yoga Now app. You can do it anywhere you want. He has cooking segments, live daily workout segments. I encourage you to check it out. Start living a healthier life. And hey, this ain't your mama's yoga.
So this is Greg Golden from the Greg Golden Band, Bizarre Guitar in Reno, Nevada, and you're listening to Rock and Wrestling, Local 420. Those guys rock.
Hey, guess what? We've reached the end of the episode again. Hope you liked this week's episode. 137 episodes. Can you believe it? So after This Week in Rock and Wrestling, we played the 13th Floor Elevators with Roller Coaster, the Isley Brothers with Fight the Power, into TLC's Waterfalls. A lot of people think that's probably cheesy, but for the message I'm trying to send, I figured it was a good song. Moody Blues, Legend of a Mind. John Fogerty, The Old Man Is Down the Road. Iron Maiden, The Klansman. Into Oingo Boingo with Weird Science. Weird Al with Dare to Be Stupid. Into our weekly George Carlin rant about global warming. Third set, we got David Lee Roth with Just a Gigolo and I Ain't Got Nobody. A double shot of the Grateful Dead with Baba O'Reilly into Tomorrow Never Knows. And then I wanted to send the show off with the Jerry Garcia Band and Sisters and Brothers with Keeping the Faith. The song's called Sisters and Brothers, but it's really the message behind it. And John Conn's bass line is just, oh my God, such a great song. And I figured it was a perfect song to send off with. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys will come back next week. But this show wouldn't be possible without Tony Karalik and Kevin Ryan, my producers and editors. And I gotta thank Brian Zane, the Z-Man. Watch his show, Wrestling with Regret. Thank the dude, the Z-Dude, David. Check his show out, Z-E-E-D-O-O-D, Z-Dude. He's helping me with my YouTube channel. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Punchin' Baby Yoda. You should also follow one of my new buddies, Mikey F. Banga. He's helping me with my Instagram, so I wanted to do a little shout out for him. Shout out Cassie and Zach with We Just Made the List podcast. Great podcast. Check it out every week. And last but not least, John and Chad from the Two Man Power Trip of Wrestling podcast and their other podcast they have, the Triple Threat podcast, which is now on Vince Russo's Realm Network on the brand. Check out their podcast with Shane Douglas. Let's see, if you want to find me on social media, Rock and Wrestling, Local 420 at Gmail, email me, Facebook me, Instagram me. Check us out on YouTube, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you can find a podcast. So hopefully I'll see you there next week, and we'll be able to rap a little more about bullshit, music, politics, wrestling, whatever have you. See you guys next week.